A relationship with the right referral partner could be a game changer for any B2B company. So what if you could reverse engineer these relationships at a moment's notice? Start a podcast, invite potential referral partners to be guests on your show, and grow your referral network faster than ever. Learn more at sweetfishmedia.com.
You're listening to B2B Growth, a daily podcast for B2B leaders. We've interviewed names you've probably heard before, like Gary Vaynerchuk and Simon Sinek, but you've probably never heard from the majority of our guests. That's because the bulk of our interviews aren't with professional speakers and authors. Most of our guests are in the trenches leading sales and marketing teams. They're implementing strategy. They're experimenting with tactics. They're building the fastest growing B2B companies in the world. My name is James Carberry. I'm the founder of Sweetfish Media, a podcast agency for B2B brands, and I'm also one of the co-hosts of this show. When we're not interviewing sales and marketing leaders, you'll hear stories from behind the scenes of our own business. We'll share the ups and downs of our journey as we attempt to take over the world. Just kidding. Well, maybe. Let's get into the show. Welcome back to B2B Growth. I'm Logan Lyles with Sweetfish Media. I'm joined today by Cynthia Gumbert. She is Chief Marketing Officer over at SmartBear. Cynthia, how's it going today?
It's great. Having a great day. Thank you.
It is great to have you. You know, Cynthia, you popped up on our radar on a great list of 25 powerhouse CMOs that Drift just released. And I am really excited to dive into today's topic, which is going to be mentorship in your marketing career. But before we jump straight into that, I would love for you to share with listeners a little bit about what you and the team at SmartBear are up to these days.
Thank you, Logan. Yes, I'm relatively new at SmartBear. I've been here about 5 months, and we are building up a marketing team to manage 25 products, 3 major open source communities. We have a group of 6.5 million users across all our products, 22,000 customers, and acquiring 2,000 every month. So very large communities. Our marketing team is juggling a lot of different products, but they're all designed to help software organizations and any organization developing software to deliver great software faster with higher quality and using some easy-to-use tools that are just downloaded by testers and developers.
Yeah. So 2 things. It sounds like your marketing team has their hands full, and it sounds like it's probably been a pretty busy 5 months for you, huh?
It's been very, very busy learning about all the different tools in the SmartBear portfolio, and that some of them are better known than the brand SmartBear itself. So many people download what we have to offer and have no idea it's part of SmartBear. So a lot of what I'm doing is just building up that brand itself of what do we stand for as a company.
Yeah, definitely. So some interesting challenges there. We could maybe even speak to those in a future episode in, that brand awareness challenge that's kind of unique to that sort of scenario. I love that. I love that you guys are working through it. So let's dive into today's topic. You've posted, I saw a LinkedIn post of yours about going over to the B2B Sales and Marketing Exchange a few months back and engaging in some mentorship there. It's something that I've seen you talk about, and we're going to be breaking down some tips for being a mentor and some of the ways that you can go about that in your marketing career, some of the value there. And then if you are seeking mentorship, what are some good ways to go about that? Let's start with the former and talk about, being a mentor. One of your pieces of advice that I know you wanted to share is about casting the vision for folks that are new within the function. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I was extremely happy to, very early on in my career of being a manager, help some folks just getting out of college progress their career and become extremely successful over a short period of time. This started with me hiring my son's babysitter who was watching him, for hours on the weekend, and just seeing that she was extremely ambitious, graduated with a marketing degree, hired her into an entry-level position where she was, shipping boxes to trade shows and that sort of thing. And she just got promoted pretty much every year, starting her first year, and became a VP a few years later. So I felt like the advice I gave her and that help was just inspiring, to me to go become mentors for more people.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for, kind of casting that vision and seeing how can you, take someone who's new in marketing and show them really what's possible. It's amazing. What are some of the lessons that you've learned there? Because, we'll talk about some of the benefits of being a mentor, but regardless, you want to be very conscious about where you invest your time there. So tell us a little bit about how you are somewhat choosy, or maybe a better word is intentional on choosing where you invest your time as a mentor and some of the lessons learned.
Yeah, when I went to work for Dell, which is the biggest company I was at, there was a formal mentorship program. And I think at some point, about 12 people requested me as a mentor. And I really had room for about 6 or 7. And looking at folks who are really early in careers, but show signs of just diving in and trying to be very, very successful in their role. So I had more people than, I could fit into my schedule who were requesting me as a mentor, and, looking for folks who had either very specific goals in mind and things I knew I could help them with, or people who were, very, very early on in their careers, but had a very similar level of, I'm going to overcome any roadblock, any challenge, and try to make myself successful. And who can I talk to help me get there? So that's, I think, the most rewarding kind of mentorship is just seeing some, real drive in folks early on in their career.
Today's growth story is about a brand we all know well, Airbnb. When they were trying to maximize growth among work travelers, Airbnb knew they needed to develop and execute a content strategy to reach multiple personas at different stages of the customer journey. Enter HubSpoke.Marketing. HubSpoke managed creative content development and crafted a custom publishing process that allowed Airbnb to develop more content in less time. The end result? A lot of content across multiple channels, all strategically nurturing leads through to conversion. Within the first 6 months, Airbnb nearly tripled the number of companies enrolled in their Airbnb for Work program. They also saw huge increases in user adoption, with work travelers booking longer stays and more guests per booking. If you're looking for strategic content at scale, I've got a hunch Hub and Spoke can help. Head over to HubSpoke.Marketing/growth to schedule your consultation with a content specialist today. That's HubSpoke.Marketing/growth. All right, let's get back to the show.
Yeah, so you talk a little bit there about what things you're looking for as a mentor and where to spend your time. I'm curious if you can remember some of the things that you did to shorten that list, going from 12 people requesting your time to only having time to mentor 6. What were some of the ways that you pulled out some of those things that you were looking for in people where you were deciding to invest your time?
I had initial meetings with quite a few folks, and the people who came very well prepared with, they knew exactly what they wanted to ask. They had either a specific issue or just knew about what I had been through and what my role was, and had very specific questions related to that. That's kind of separated them for me. And, not that I think everybody is extremely worth mentoring. I just didn't have time to take everybody on.
So that actually leads us into, really the other side of the coin. If you are looking to take advantage of and benefit from mentorship earlier in your career, or really at any stage in your career, because I think we all need mentors, at different stages of our marketing career. You mentioned being well prepared. And one of the other things I know you and I have chatted about, Cynthia, is as you're seeking out mentors, not only coming prepared, but seeking out mentors with a variety of expertise. Can you talk to that a little bit and some advice for folks that are seeking the right mentors on the other side of the coin?
Yeah, and my career has been entirely in B2B marketing. And getting to see more and more that B2B marketing is up to maybe 15 very specific career types that are very different. We've got everything from web developers to graphic designers to demand gen and then operational leaders. So I think to be a great leader of a marketing organization in this industry, you do need to have different experiences across several of those different functions as you move up. And I think marketing more so than any other job function. Sales is pretty much sales. Engineering has its specific areas, but it's all very technical. I think marketing is extremely diverse. So looking for folks to be mentors who have a different path than you've taken so far and can talk to, what are the needs and requirements to take several of those paths in marketing, because there's more than one way to become, a leader.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I've heard Sangram over at Terminus talk about before, is that, this path in your marketing journey can be from specialist to generalist. And oftentimes that's a commonality getting to the CMO role if that's your goal. But I think whatever your goal is, that idea that you're going to need a variety of expertise, a diversity of experience, and seeking that out will make you more well-rounded as you advance in your professional career. So I love that advice as well, Cynthia. One of the things I, see people doing when they're seeking out mentorship is, kind of going into it with maybe not necessarily the wrong goal, but no goal at all. Have you experienced that? And what advice do you have to kind of maybe avoid that pitfall for people that are trying to find mentorship in their marketing career?
Yeah, I think, I've talked to people who come in with the question saying, how do I get to be a manager as quickly as I can, a people manager? Because that's the next step I need to take in my career. And, my first question back to that is, why? Why do you think that's going to be better than what you're doing now? What are you doing now? And I've talked some people out of that, just saying if their goal is to be just a people manager, try to rotate through different areas of marketing first, and then you'll naturally know more about the types of people, you're managing when you get there. But realize what you're getting into when you're a manager. You won't be able to do your job anymore. You won't be the creator of the things you are so proud of now, for example. And, you'll have a team that depends on you. So really think about what you believe you want to do versus what you think is the right path, just because that's what, someone else has done, or that's what it seems like it should be.
Yeah, I love that. So, Cynthia, I think that's really good advice for folks that are seeking out mentorship. If you're actively seeking out mentorship in your marketing career, then you're likely already headed in the right direction versus folks that aren't seeking it out. But I love what you've added here to give people a little bit more focus, a little bit more direction in this area. If we could circle back to a question that I ask a lot of our guests, and that is, a learning resource that has helped you along your way. We're talking about the value of helping others in their career, how to go about getting that help. And so I'd love for you to share with listeners who maybe get just a little bit of mentorship from you today in a resource that you think they should check out that could be marketing related or personal development, whatever the case may be. I'd love to hear what you might want to share there.
Yeah, I think one specific one, I don't know if this is a learning resource, but it is for me. I love Scott Brinker's Chief Martech blog and the Martech conferences that he runs. He is just brilliant with not only staying on top of, started as technology only and the tools platform, but he's looking ahead to trends of where marketing is going, further into the 21st century and beyond, and leadership trends, organization structure trends. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. I also follow just a lot of great people who I consider either peers or thought leaders, or somebody who writes really well on LinkedIn. So I just see things in my feed. That's a lot of my education.
Yeah. For anybody listening to this that would like to learn more about SmartBear or stay connected with you as they advance in their own B2B marketing career, what's the best way for them to learn more or to reach out to you and stay connected?
Yeah, SmartBear has a lot of presence on LinkedIn and Twitter, just as itself. And all of our products have, a lot of feeds as well. But you can go to smartbear.com and sign up to follow us on Twitter. Me, I am CYN Gumbert, CYNGUMBERT on Twitter. So feel free to connect there or LinkedIn.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Logan, for having me.
We totally get it. We publish a ton of content on this podcast, and it can be a lot to keep up with. That's why we've started the B2B Growth Big Three, a no-fluff email that boils down our 3 biggest takeaways from an entire week of episodes. Sign up today at sweetfishmedia.com/big3. That's sweetfishmedia.com/big3.